The cantina on Kethro Station was a melting pot of the galaxy's roughest characters. Its walls, scarred by blaster burns and claw marks, hummed with the din of a dozen languages. Hisses, clicks, and guttural roars. Neon lights flickered above tables crowded with mercenaries, traders, and smugglers, each nursing drinks that glowed or smoked. At the center of the chaos sat Korgoth, a hulking Varcadian bounty hunter, his scaled hide glinting under the lights. His four arms flexed as he regaled his audience with tales of his latest conquests. "Deathworlders," Korgoth bellowed, slamming a clawed fist on the table, rattling mugs. "The galaxy's toughest prey. I've hunted them across 3 systems, Grithax, Vorn, even Earth itself. No one matches my tally." His yellow eyes gleamed with pride, and his audience, a mix of Zorlans, Clithians, and a lone gaseous Venari, nodded eagerly, hanging on his words. At the bar, unnoticed, sat Lieutenant Maravas, a human from Earth's Galactic Recon Corps. Her dark hair was tied back, and her gray jumpsuit blended into the cantina's shadows. She sipped a clear liquid that wasn't water, her eyes locked on Korgoth. His boast carried over the noise. "I bagged a human on Vorn last cycle. Took its head as a trophy. They're nothing soft, slow, no natural weapons." Mara's grip tightened on her glass. She leaned toward the bartender, a multi-eyed cephalon, and murmured, "He's loud about it, isn't he?" The cephalon's eyes swiveled. "Korgoth has been bragging all night. Claims he's untouchable." Mara's lips curved into a faint smile. "Let's see about that." She slid off her stool and approached Korgoth's table, her steps deliberate but unhurried. The crowd parted as Mara reached Korgoth. He towered over her, his 8-foot frame dwarfing her 5 feet 6 inches build. His scales clicked as he turned, sizing her up with a sneer. "What's this? A human?" The word dripped with disdain. "That's right," Mara said, her voice steady. "I heard you hunted my kind. Impressive. Tell me, Korgoth, did any of them walk away?" The cantina fell silent. Korgoth's eyes narrowed, his claws flexing. "None," he growled. "They all fell. You want to be next?" Mara tilted her head, unfazed. "Not quite. How about a wager? A duel? Here and now, in the station's arena. Non-lethal, of course. I'm not a savage. If I win, you stop hunting humans. If you win, I'll give you my ship's coordinates. Prime human hunting grounds." The crowd gasped. Korgoth laughed, a guttural rumble. "You're brave for a softskin. I accept." He leaned closer, his breath hot and acrid. "I'll enjoy this." The arena was a sunken pit at the station's core, surrounded by tiered seats packed with spectators. Holographic projectors could simulate any environment, but Mara chose a simple setup, a flat, open circle with no cover. "No tricks," she said to the arena master, a robotic construct. "Just skill." Korgoth entered, wielding a vibroaxe in one hand and a plasma whip in another. His other 2 arms were free, claws gleaming. Mara carried only her standard-issue sidearm and a combat knife strapped to her thigh. The crowd murmured, betting heavily against her. The arena's klaxon blared, and Korgoth charged, his whip cracking toward Mara's legs. She dove to the side, rolling to her feet with her sidearm drawn. She fired 2 shots at Korgoth's whip hand, but his scales deflected the low-caliber rounds. He swung the axe, forcing her to duck and scramble backward. "You're quick," Korgoth taunted, "but speed won't save you." Mara didn't reply. She holstered her sidearm, drew her knife, and circled him. Korgoth lashed out with his whip, aiming to entangle her. She caught the whip on her knife, twisting it to jam the plasma coil, rendering it useless. The crowd gasped as she closed the distance, ducking under a claw swipe and slashing at Korgoth's exposed tendon on his lower arm. He roared, dropping the whip. "First mistake," Mara said, backing off. "You assumed I'd stay at range." Korgoth's eyes blazed. He swung his axe in a wide arc, forcing Mara to leap back. She landed awkwardly, and he seized the moment, lunging with his claws. Mara dropped flat, letting his momentum carry him over her, then kicked upward, striking his knee joint. He staggered, and she rolled away, regaining her footing. The crowd was on edge. A Zorlan spectator clicked nervously. She's not fighting like prey. The arena master activated a random environmental shift, and the floor morphed into a rocky terrain with jagged outcrops. Korgoth grinned, using his 4 arms to climb a boulder for a vantage point. Nowhere to hide, human. Mara didn't hide. She sprinted toward a narrow crevice, squeezing through as Korgoth hurled a boulder at her. It shattered against the rock, spraying shards. She emerged on the other side, grabbing a loose stone and throwing it at Korgoth's face. He deflected it, but the distraction let her close in. She vaulted onto his boulder, slashing her knife across his shoulder scales. They didn't break, but the force made him flinch. "You're annoying," Korgoth snarled, swinging his axe. Mara ducked, grabbing his arm and using his own momentum to flip him off the boulder. He landed hard, cracking the ground. The crowd roared. Mara leaped down, landing lightly. "You hunt Deathworlders, but you don't understand us. We don't just survive, we adapt." Korgoth rose, enraged. He charged, all 4 arms swinging. Mara dodged, weaving through his strikes with a dancer's grace. She noticed his left knee wobbling from her earlier kick. Targeting it, she feigned a frontal attack, then slid low, driving her knife into the joint's soft tissue. Korgoth howled, collapsing to one knee. Mara stood over him, breathing hard but composed. "Yield, Korgoth, or I'll make sure you don't walk away either." The crowd was silent, waiting. Korgoth's eyes burned with fury, but pain and exhaustion weighed on him. He dropped his axe, raising 2 hands in surrender. "Enough," he growled. Mara sheathed her knife. "Good choice." She turned to the crowd, her voice carrying. "He hunted Deathworlders, but today one walked away. Remember that." The arena erupted in cheers and murmurs. Korgoth staggered to his feet, limping. "You're no ordinary human," he muttered. "I'm just recon," Mara said. "You should see our special forces." As she left the arena, the crowd parted, their eyes wide with respect and fear. The Cephalon bartender caught her at the exit. "You planned that, didn't you?" Mara smirked. "I don't like bullies, and I really don't like people hunting my kind." Back in the cantina, Korgoth sat alone, his boast silenced. Word spread through Kethro Station. A human had humbled the galaxy's greatest hunter. And somewhere, Mara Voss boarded her ship, ready for the next mission, her question answered in blood and skill.